Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I'm going to present to you an equation that's used by sophisticated gym owners to calculate, just to predict the future, basically. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? So, in simple terms, you use this equation to predict how many customers you're going to have by a specific time interval. So, you're talking about 6 months down the line, for example. You know how much customers you'll be having, you know your member acquisition, you know how much members you're losing and gaining by that time. And it's very essential for you to know these things as a gym owner, because if you don't, you're kind of like a blue ocean. You don't know what's happening, and things could get real confusing real fast. Simply, I could give you, first I'll give you the simple equation, and then I'll give you the more complex one, just so you can understand. Basically, first you put how many members are you acquiring per month on average. Let's say about 10. Okay, let's say we're acquiring 10. Let me actually use a thicker. This is this the thickest one? Let me just zoom in. Okay, let's say you acquire 10 members per month, and let's say you have 20 members. Okay, let me explain it better. Let me just give you the equation first without the numbers. So this is how many members you acquire minus how many members you already have. Let's just call it MH. Okay, times your churn rate in percentage. This one has to be in percentage. Everything else doesn't. Okay. Hypothetical example, just like the one I was giving you. Let's say you acquire 10 members per month on average from your ads, from referrals, all that stuff. 10. Then let's say you have 20 members, as I mentioned before as well. Let's say your churn rate is 20%. Okay. 20%. Okay. This is the first month. We call this month January. By the end of this month, this is how many members you're gonna acquire. So I have a calculator. You multiply, so churn rate in calculator is just 0.2. So 20% is 0.2. And that's you acquiring 6 members. So you have 6 members, new members at the end of this month. You do the same for February. Okay, same everything. 10 new members. This is the average, right? This way you spend on ads, referrals, all that stuff. But you'll notice something change in the equation. You don't have 20 members anymore. You actually have 26. You see? You multiply that by the same churn rate, because that's your churn rate, right? It's 20% on average. And guess what? Look at what changed. Instead of acquiring 6 members, if I round it up, it's going to be 5. So you acquired 5 instead of 6. You see? So you do the same for March, okay? And I have to do the math again, just one more time to demonstrate. As you can see, you have 31 new members. 31 members in total, okay? You plug it in the formula. You'll notice if I round it up, 4. So if we keep going, so on and so on, you're gonna reach 0, because you're losing customers just as much as you're gaining. It keeps going down until you plateau, you hit 0. So if I had to do the calculation, here's what that would look like to know exactly when or how many members you'll be capped out. So you change the variables, you play around with the variables a bit. You rewrite the equation. Let's say we want to use the same numbers again. Instead of using the number here, any of these numbers, you just name it X. You multiply it by the churn rate, and let's say we make it 0. That's where you will be capped. You're not acquiring, you're not losing. You do some math, you play around with it for a bit, Let's say we do some math right now, just quickly, so I don't waste your time. Okay. So you're going to be capped out at 50, as you can see. 50 members is where you will cap out if your churn rate is 20% and you're acquiring 10 customers. Okay? Now, if you put that into perspective, okay, here's what the graph looks like. It's not linear as you think. You may think this is linear. It's not linear. It's actually exponential. So at the beginning, you're acquiring customers fast, and then starts to slow down, and then you plateau. There's a limit that you can't exceed, as you can see. Now, there is a way to combat this. I will talk about it in the next video. But it's super simple. You just have to use referrals, and you have to improve your retention, acquisition. That's more in depth, but there's a referral system that you could use to actually break past this line. So, see you guys.